own values and beliefs. And I hear that question argued sometimes too. Well, should parents be allowed to imbue their kids with their own values and beliefs? Is it the government's job to do that, to determine what your kids should and shouldn't learn, in terms of fundamental value? I don't think so. And
I can't, with the separation of church and state.
Right.
You send your child off to preschool, the school cannot give them your religious values.
That's exactly right. And, what's really interesting is that people argue all the time that homeschoolers are able to keep their kids home and homeschool them for religious reasons and imbue them with their values and beliefs. And at the same time, nobody ever brings up the subject of private schools, and that is exactly what many religious private schools do as well. Yet we tolerate them without any problem at all. It's just homeschoolers who would dare to do that seem to be problematic to the public education system.
Plus, when you're homeschooling your children too, you get a chance to model good social behavior.
Thank you very much. Really, do you want your child socialized by other 6-year-olds? Because really, there's one teacher to every 30 students. She can't possibly model the appropriate social behavior for all of those children. So who do they learn their social behavior from? They learn it from their peer group, other kids who are the same age, who probably have about the same amount of experience socially, and which is to say that they don't have much experience at all. Parents model the appropriate social behavior for their kids. They give them the skills they need to interact appropriately with other people. The kids try them out in their family, in their extended family, in their communities. And if they have a problem with the kid down the block who steals their ice cream cone from them, they can run home and, tell mom or dad, who are right there to help them deal with it, who will then give them more skills for dealing with difficult people. Now, that is the proper and appropriate way for a child to be socialized, not in a school by other 6-year-olds or 8-year-olds or 12-year-olds or, whoever the age group of their peer group happens to be.
But sometimes when people hear the idea of homeschooling, the idea is that we're home all the time. But really, homeschoolers are not, and because of budget cuts, schools do not offer the social activities that they once did. If you think about it, Little League and the swim team and the soccer teams, those are community activities that anybody can participate in. Those are not school activities.
Exactly right, and that's another way that parents can socialize their kids, is to engage in lots of these social opportunities, not only within their family, but like you say, in the extended community. Homeschoolers will participate in all kinds of activities like, 4-H or scouting or classes at the Park and Rec department. Homeschool parents are really diligent about offering their kids, creating opportunities for their kids, similar opportunities to what public and private school kids have. So you see them offering all kinds of cooperative classes and field trips and opportunities for their kids to get out in the big wide world. Just in our area alone, we have a homeschool band, we have a homeschool string quartet, a homeschool choir, a homeschool, sorry, I forget the handbells. We have homeschooled square dancing, and those are just, kind of frivolous activities, maybe some people would say. But we also have, parents get together and offer classes in math and science and geography and book clubs and all kinds of other academic endeavors, including competitions. People talk about homeschoolers not having the opportunity to compete. Well, there are homeschool spelling bees and homeschool geography bees and homeschool math Olympiads and homeschool debate teams and all kinds of ways for these kids to interact with other kids, not only in a competitive way and an academic way, but socially as well.
Means that homeschool children aren't chained to the table crying over their worksheets every day?
No, that's hardly the case. Again, that's really interesting to me that people think that, or even that they think that the kids are at home at the kitchen table from 9 o'clock in the morning until 3, just like they would be in school, and that they've just got their heads down doing schoolwork all that time. Nothing could be further from the truth. Most of them, like we said before, are doing academics for a very short portion of the day because that's all that's required when you have this one-on-one custom-tailored learning environment, and then the rest of the day is spent out doing some of these wonderful field trips and, maybe taking music lessons or going to gymnastics classes or karate classes or joining AYSO soccer or Pop Warner football or Little League baseball or any of the innumerable opportunities that there are out there. And not only that, but we've seen now that a lot of the community resources that we have are opening their doors to homeschoolers. We have homeschool gymnasiums that are now offering workout sessions for homeschoolers, or they're offering gymnastics classes for homeschoolers, or dance classes and things like that, music lessons for homeschoolers during the daytime when the other kids are in school and they have less. I guess what I'm trying to say is we've been recognized as a market by these people.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
a big market.
You bet. And so there's money to be made in offering these classes for homeschoolers. In addition, a lot of museums are opening their doors to homeschooling. The Tech Museum of Innovation in San Jose, California, has a homeschool day once a year, as does Marine World Africa USA, as does the California Academy of Sciences, where they just open their doors to homeschoolers for the day and give them significantly reduced admission prices. And in addition, they often offer all kinds of wonderful docent-led workshops for the kids, on any variety of academic topics.
Well, it makes sense. There are more homeschoolers in this country now than there are Catholic school students.
Oh, I didn't know that. There's a statistic I didn't have.
Yeah, it's huge.
Wow.
And it's the fastest growing educational trend in America today.
Well, that I knew. We're talking about, if we have about 2 to 2.5 million homeschooling families with a projected increase of anywhere I've seen from 7 to 50% annually, depending on where the homeschooling activity is located, but with a definite overall increase of 7 to 15% per year, that really does make it the fastest growing educational alternative in the country today.
So give us some specifics. How can homeschoolers meet other children and find friends if they don't go to school?
I think the very first thing you can do is get connected with other homeschool support groups in your area.
Homeschool.com has an excellent list of all the local homeschooling support groups across the country. So for listeners, you just go to homeschool.com/support. It's a state index. You put in the name of your state, and then you look for the local homeschooling support groups that are in your area. It's a terrific resource.
Yes, it is a fabulous resource. And also, I think if you take a look at if you go to your state homeschool organization, you can. They often have lists of the different support groups by county throughout their state, and you can access local support groups that way. Once you get connected with these local support groups, many of them have online support groups as well, like through Yahoo groups, so that you can get connected. Even if you're in a very rural area, you could certainly be connected with other people in one way or another via the internet, which is wonderful. I think it's really opened up opportunities in homeschooling.
In fact, Homeschool.com has very active message boards.
Perfect.
For all the different subjects. That's at homeschool.com/boards.
Do you also have message boards for children to participate in as well?
No, we do not. It's
not yet.
Only for adults. There are special safety considerations for anyone under 16.
Yeah.
So it's just for adults. I wish we could have it for pen pals, but the liability is just too great for that.
Right, but pen pal organizations exist nevertheless, and lots of homeschoolers utilize them in order to get a little more social contact for their kids with other children throughout the world.
That's right. With email, the world is a lot smaller than it once was.
Right. And then again, through these homeschool support groups, what happens is these families get together generally at park days once a week, where they all meet at a park, and the kids play, and the parents share resources and information and encouragement and support. And out of these groups often comes these opportunities for field trips and cooperative classes that sometimes aren't publicized anywhere else except through that support group. So that's why it's really important to get connected with your local support groups, so that your children can participate in those activities, and then they can make friends amongst the homeschool students that attend the support groups. And then another way would be, again, to get involved in community resources and opportunities that are available for children, like scouting organizations, 4-H church groups, and we did already talk about Little League and Pop Warner and AYSO and dance classes. Theater classes are a great way for kids to get some socialization as well. And through the local rec and park and rec departments in your community that offer all kinds of classes and fun things for kids to do.
And then I experience